Lamar Jackson, man, has been the talk in the sports world. So with that being said, we seen that 2 point conversion. Mark Andrews missed the, dropped the ball to tie the game. With that being said, and all that being said, how much blame do you put on Lamar Jackson losing to the Buffalo Bills this past weekend?
I'll start. I'll start. 45%. 45%. 45% is only that high because you have to find a way to win. It was your year. This is your time to find your way to win. I'm not ready to say that his window is closed. But you have to pull out a victory out of the jaws of defeat. And I'm not gonna put all that on him, but I will put 55% of it on Mark Andrews. He dropped a fumble in the fourth quarter, and then you missed the 2 point conversion. You dropped that pass. Hey, bro, that's enough for me. And I say Lamar, in these previous playoff games, he stunk it up in the games that they lost. He did not stink it up this game. He played damn good, but he didn't play good enough to win. That's why I give him 45% of blame, because whenever you have things like that go your way, you're supposed to make it so you're supposed to be so far ahead that those things don't hurt you like they did. So I'll give him 45% of the blame. I'll give Mark Andrews I'll give him 45% of the blame, and I'll give 10% to the coaching staff.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say, come on, man.
Yeah, I give 10% to the coaching staff because I mean you got Derrick Henry back there. I understand that you were behind, but you can't abandon the run like they did. They abandoned the run, and there was no reason to do that. You have to dance with the girl that you brought with you. So that's an old saying. You dance with the date that you brought with you. So you brought Derrick Henry there, dance with him on that damn in the playoffs, bro. You don't just go find another girl up there and now all of a sudden you a pass heavy team. You got to go with what got you there.
He ready to hold him accountable. Right. Go ahead,
I'll go. And actually, I kind of see eye to eye with C here. I put 50% on Lamar Jackson and 50% on Mark Andrews. Okay, and this is the reason why. Look, I've been very critical of Lamar, and the way this game started off, I was like, bruh, he's gonna lose this game. His playoff stats now are 13 touchdowns, 11 turnovers, and he's 3-5. Another crazy stat I read that I did not even realize: Lamar Jackson's all his 3 wins are the Ravens defense keeping the other team 14 or under points. So he didn't even have to do a crazy performance. The team held it down. The defense held it down. But when they count on him, he's let them down. Look, he had 2 bad turnovers, really bad. The Bills scored off of both. All right. And then also that I sent y'all the clip in the chat today. That first quarter throw he made to Derrick Henry, which was a bad throw, he had him wide open for a 60-yard touchdown. X, I know you don't look much in the chat, but go look at that play because it was a better angle of you get all the 22 players on the field, and Henry, I think it was a play action, and Henry went all the way to the sideline wide open. Lamar threw it, but he underthrew it so bad, Henry couldn't move in that snow and catch it. So, and it was a 60-yard touchdown.
But they scored on their possession, so they didn't really matter.
That's true. That's a good point. But I'm just saying, the 2 turnovers as well really hurt him because it did not. He had the first game opening drive, and after that, it just fell apart.
They scored on the interception. I don't remember them scoring on that drive. The next drive.
Maybe they didn't score on there, but I do know for sure they scored off that
the fumble for sure.
Yeah, they didn't score on the interception.
They might have not. Okay, that's my fault. But they did score off that fumble. Regardless, though, I just thought I'm not going to put it on the coaching staff, and here's why. Because, like y'all were talking about earlier, they put him in a position to basically win the game where basically it's 27-27, I believe, if Mark Andrews catches that. So maybe the game plan should have been to run the ball more, but if Mark Andrews catches it there, and that's a good play call by the offensive coordinator, it is 27-27. Um, I will put 50% on Mark Andrews though, because he had a bad turnover, and that's fine because sometimes players will turn the ball over. It was a great defensive play. It's not like Mark Andrews just fumbled it, but he's got to catch that. Like he is their number one pass catcher on that team. It was a perfect play call. He's got to catch it. I understand it's a little snowy. It's Buffalo, but you got to catch
Yeah,
it.
but you got to get that one, bro.
You got to get that one. I agree. But I also do put 50% on Lamar because of the two bad turnovers. And think about it this way, right? Here's the reason I won't give Mark Andrews more blame than Lamar. If Mark Andrews catches it, it's 27-27. It's still a minute 30 to go. And let's say Josh Allen drives him down and they kick the field goal for the win. Then who's the blame on? Well, they're going to go back to Lamar's two turnovers. You can blame Mark Andrews one turnover, but they're going to say, well, Lamar had two turnovers. So he's gotta get over this hump. The good news is, though, he's got plenty of years left. Peyton Manning did not win in his first 7 years. LeBron didn't win in his first 7 years in the NBA. He's got plenty of time to go. But it is a bad look when you've got 3 MVPs. He's about to, and you've only got 3 playoff wins.
I think the reason why I don't think his window's closed is because he's just getting Derrick Henry, and I think that now he has the team. This is his first year with a team that I legitimately thought he had a chance to win the Super Bowl with.
To be fair, CU had the Ravens beating the Chiefs in an AFC title game last year, though.
Yeah, but I mean, I was wrong. That team wasn't.
But that team went further. They went further than this team, though. They were the number one.
But do you think that team was a better team than this team with Henry?
I mean, I get what you're saying with Henry, but I thought the defense was better.
The defense probably was better, yeah. But I don't know. I just say with Henry, I think that they have enough of the defense from last year left that they should have been able to run the ball enough to win that game.
And I will say this, even though I've been critical of Lamar, he's been a complete choker in the playoffs. But I do love like his attitude after the game. Like he took that L. He said, "Look, Mark Andrews dropped it, but I had 2 turnovers.
Yeah,
I'm getting tired of this. Like I'm sick of this." I love actually hearing that because it tells me he cares and he wants to win. It's not like he was like LeBron did that one time after the Dallas series. He said, "Well, I've still made enough money in my career, blah blah blah." Like what?
Yeah. LeBron definitely did say that.
He did say that.
Yeah. What else did LeBron say?
But I'd rather hear like when Lamar says that, that tells me he's thinking like Kobe, and I love that attitude. So I'm starting to feel for Lamar, honestly, but he's got to take advantage soon because Derrick Henry won't be around forever. Maybe John Harbaugh retires early. Maybe his roster just goes to crap because he, along with the Eagles and I forgot what other team, he had the most All Pros on one team this year. So he's got to take. Oh, it was the Lions as well. He's got to take advantage. He's got to hit it before his window closes. So this one is 50% on him. He's got to play better. But the good thing is he has at least a couple more years of his prime for sure.
Well, I'll drop what y'all said a little bit. I'm not far off. I'm more along the lines with C. I'll go 40% Lamar because that first interception that was like a point. That wasn't. They didn't score on it. I'm not tripping. I'm not saying it was a good interception by no means. I understand what you said about Derrick Henry, but I was gonna say the same thing. C did. They scored in that drive, so I'm not really tripping. He should have made the pass though, for sure. I'm not against that. The fumble, that was a terrible fumble. That was a 10-point swing. A
Yep.
10-point swing. I can't defend that. So for sure, I'm gonna give him 40% of the blame. I'm gonna give Mark Andrews 45% of the blame. Because to me, at the end of the day, 88 yards, Lamar Jackson had to drive you down there. You know what he did? He did it. And he didn't throw in the football. He didn't do it running. He didn't throw in the football, finding open people, buying more time. I thought it was a great drive. I said, finally, we're going to get something, from Lamar Jackson, one of those legendary drives. And then Mark Andrews drops that pass, man. I just, I'm sitting there in awe. I'm like, bro, there's no way. Because I saw the play when he rolled out. I saw Andrews going to the corner. You remember, LSU beat Alabama with that same play.
Yep.
So I'm like, perfect, perfect. But to what box office said, um, Josh Allen still had a minute and 30 seconds left. And I'm not gonna say I don't think Josh Allen goes down there and scores, but I am gonna give the last little bit to the coaching staff. At the end of the day, I just didn't see enough um read options out there for me. Like for me, I felt like they didn't feed Derrick Henry enough. You didn't even let Lamar even get going, like as far as running the football. I thought you had to make them make a decision on
Yeah.
well what you're gonna do. And I just felt like they didn't do that in that game. So I'm still gonna give them 15%. But to your credit, you said box office, they had a chance to win the game, they didn't do it. But Lamar drove them down there. Mark Andrews, even with the fumble, even with the interception, even with him missing throws, he drove them down there with a chance to tie the game. And who knows what happens after that? But Mark Andrews, you have to catch that ball.
Uh,
I feel bad for him because Mark Andrews, I actually like Mark. I think he's one of the best tight ends in in this era right now. You put Travis Kelsey there, but he's right there under Travis Kelsey as probably the next guy. So it sucks, but yeah, I'm going Lamar 40, Mark Andrews 45, and then 15% to the
there's
coaching
only
staff.
there's only two people that deserves a damn
Oh,
blame in
here
this
we
game.
go.
Number one, it's freaking Mark Andrews. You had that turnover, and I don't know how you can miss that 2 point conversion, man. That is just
Man.
It's like Jim Nance who called that play. He was like I when he called it, I thought he caught it. He said no, he dropped it. So I'm like, damn, that really happened. Um, and obviously I do blame Lamar though, man. You could say that we could have tied that game, but then again, you put your team in that situation. You put your team in that position. Lamar Jackson haven't had multiple turnovers all
All
season.
season.
This is the game that he actually has multiple turnovers. Um, four out of he's been in what 8 playoff games. Four of those games he's had multiple turnovers that had end up in actual losses also. And so you played great all season. You played like this, the guy that's gonna win MVP, but you can't do that in the playoffs where you're about to go to the AFC Championship game. You just can't do that, and that's why I gotta blame him and I gotta hold him accountable because when it comes to the quarterback's position, it's a high-profile position. It is the most scrutinizing position in the NFL, man. And it doesn't matter who it is. You're gonna get the questions asked, and the fingers is gonna go to you because you're the one that takes command. You're the one that takes control. You're the one that actually dictates the tempo and the momentum of that game, and that's Lamar Jackson. And he just can't make those type of mistakes, and that's why he's has that playoff record that we're going to question. That's why he's going to be one of the first guys to maybe win uh uh 3 MVPs to not make it to the Super Bowl, man. And I have to hold him accountable, and I got to put blame to him on that. What I like what he did though, he actually tried to defend Mark Andrews during the media. He did not say it was because of Mark Andrews. He was like, "Yo, it was all me."
He
And
should have
he,
though. Shit, he
I think
No,
deep down,
no, no. Come on, Steve.
I think deep down, he knows it was Mark Andrews' fault. But I think the impact that Andrews has had on his career, you know, I think he tried to, protect him. And obviously, you know, maybe Mark Andrews knows how it feels now to get blamed for something because Lamar's been getting blamed for quite some time. And it just sucks that this has to happen like that. But I do got to hold Lamar Jackson accountable. And you just can't make these type of mistakes and put your team in this position.
let me address one thing real quick. I think that you brought up that he may be winning his third MVP and that made to the Super Bowl. Some players they have to understand that to be able to win, sometimes it can't be all about them. It can't be all about them. And I think that some of the best seasons that a lot of people have, they don't win things like the MVP, but they'll win the Super Bowl that year. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about Mahomes last year. He didn't win MVP, but he won the Super Bowl. It wasn't all about Mahomes last year. It was the whole team, the team as a whole. So when he can probably get that team as a whole around him to kind of raise their level, well, it's not all dependent on him being the focal point of them winning. Maybe that's when he gets over the hump and gets that Super Bowl win. Whereas like even Peyton Manning, that second Super Bowl win he did. The previous season, he was did he win MVP? Um
Um, Trying to think, they won it.
When he won the Super Bowl with the
no,
Colts.
when he lost the Super Bowl against Seattle.
Yes, he won it that year, but that Super
Yeah,
Bowl
he won
wasn't.
that year. That year
Yeah,
that
he
they
Yeah,
won
lost.
he won it that the year that they lost, right? And then they
Yeah.
came back the next year and won the Super Bowl. When he had basically a terrible year. When he was just
No,
no,
the
no, no,
next
no,
year
no.
wasn't the
Remember,
next
New
year
England,
Patriots beat the
New England played Seattle the year after. So Peyton won MVP and won the Super Bowl 2 years later.
yeah.
right. Well, okay. Well, you get what I'm saying though. He was like a shell of himself, and he
Right.
was just along for the ride for them to the defense won the Super Bowl for
They
him
beat
basically.
Cam Newton, yeah.
Yeah, beat Cam Newton and they was talking about Osweiler could have did that. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things like maybe I don't think he'll end up being having to be like Peyton Manning was that year, but I think that he can be still maybe the best player on the team, but not have to have the best season he's ever had for him to win a Super Bowl. And I think that that's where it's going to have to happen for him. His team is going to have to raise their talent level up and their play up to make him be able to get over the hump. Maybe they need to start playing for him as much as he's playing for them, and then he can win this. It said the MVP is a solo accomplishment. It's a solo
Uh,
in-season
uh,
accomplishment, and he's earned those. He's earned every MVP he had. He's been the most valuable player during that regular season that year. Even if he wins it this year, we can say he's earned it. But
Well,
but
here's what I want to say about Lamar. He probably gonna disagree with what I'm about to say. He's gonna disagree with what I'm about to say. But he's exceeded my expectations when he got drafted into the NFL.
oh
mhm.
So
yeah, definitely.
kudos to him. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer. A lot of people didn't think he'd make it in the NFL, and
Uh,
he's exceeded my expectations.
I,
uh,
I thought he would make it. I didn't know he was going to be this good, but I knew he would make it. I know I know we should have taken him and not taken damn Davenport
wow,
that year.
big
Um,
Mark,
I also
Marcus.
let's think about this first. It's crazy, like how many phases we can look at a player's career, right? Lamar goes from this guy where I don't think he's going to be a long-term starting quarterback, right? And he exceeds those expectations, win multiple MVPs and so on, right? So now the next expectation we have for him is Super Bowl or bust. Every
Right.
season for him from now on is Super Bowl or bust, right? Let's say Lamar never wins the Super Bowl. then it's like you're like, damn, I didn't think he'd be that good, and then he ends up MVP caliber, and then he never wins. So then in the end, we actually might end up again a little disappointed if he doesn't win it.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't
But-
be.
But at the end, it's almost
In a
like the Jordan
sense.
effect.
Technically, I get what you're saying, X, because we never had that expectation for him.
Right.
But
And he
know,
wasn't a top 10 pick. So it's not like, like people expected it.
He was literally the 32nd pick in the draft.
Exactly.
The last pick in the first round. But here's the thing: if he does not, if him, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, none of them ever get a championship, they were running around in the Jordan era, bro. They were running around.
One of them's gonna get one. I don't know which
Yeah.
one. One of them.
One of them will.
I do agree because if none of them win it, that means Mahomes ends up with like 12 of them. Because
Yeah, that means Mahomes the GOAT.
Yeah, but let me put it this way: one of them's going to get one for sure.
Yeah,
but because this is football, it's not basketball.
Throw Herbert in that mix too.
Hell no, nah, man. Herbert ain't nah, bro. Herbert's never gonna get one.
Bro, you are a hater, bro.
I don't know.
C thinks Derek Carr's better than Justin Herbert. There you go.
That's crazy.
I'll take him.